Chapter 5, Programming in Visual Studio. Topics covered: creating a simple VB program, basic elements of a program, control and looping statements, some additional controls. Let us first create a simple VB program to recall all the fundamentals of the language we have learned so far. Given below is a program to calculate the total surface area of a cylinder. Step 1. Design the interface for the program by adding required label, text box and button controls in the form. Step 2. Change the properties of the controls as given below. You can also resize and move the controls as per your desire. Change the text properties of the label controls. Change the text properties of the button control. Change the name property of the text box controls. Step 3. Double-click and write the following code for the click event of the evaluate button control. Public class form 1. Private sub-evaluate click sender as object, EA7 tags, handles evaluate, click volume.text equals to *3.14 val radius.text, val radius.text, plus val height.text, in sub. In class. Here, the val function is a built-in function used for extracting numeric value from the controls that are inserted in the form. This function can be used when you want to perform some mathematical calculations on the data entered by the user in the text boxes. Step 4. Press the F5 key on the keyboard. The application will shift from design mode to run mode. Step 5. Enter the desired radius and height values in the text boxes in the output form and click the Evaluate button. Basic elements of a VB program. Like every other programming language you have studied, Visual Basic also constitutes some essential elements. Keywords. The words that are already defined in a programming language are called keywords. Every keyword possesses a specific function. Some of the keywords in VB are dim, as, end, if, else, if, for, loop, and so on. Variables. A variable is a value that can be recorded in the application's memory temporarily. It can only hold one value at a time and these values can be either numbers or text. There are some rules that you should keep in mind while naming variables in a VB program. It cannot be longer than 255 characters. It must start with a letter, not with a digit, followed by letters and digits. Keywords cannot be used as the name of a variable. Spaces and periods are not allowed. Except underscore, special characters are not allowed in the name of the variable. Visual Basic is not case sensitive, thus, the uppercase and lowercase letters are same in Visual Basic. Some examples of the valid variable names are given below. Father name. Man may. Address line 1. Marks 100. Some examples of invalid variable names are given below. First name. A space is not allowed. 1 mark. First character should always be an alphabet. Marks /123, special character, is not allowed. Declaring and initializing variables. When a variable is recorded in the system's memory, it is known as declaration of the variable. The statement in which you declare a variable informs the compiler about the data type of the variable and the compiler then allocates sufficient memory for it. Syntax. Dim variable name as data type. When the user declares a variable using the dim statement, it is known as explicit declaration. However, it is not mandatory to declare a variable in VB. This is because, if a variable is not declared earlier, it automatically assigns a default data type and value to it. This type of declaration of a variable is known as implicit declaration. The declaration of a variable does not store any data in it. To store data in a variable, it needs to be initialized with a value. The initialization of a variable can be done either at the time of declaration or even after declaring it. For example, dim marks as integer marks equals 50 or dim marks as integer equals 50. Data types. Every variable in a VB program has their own property which define their characteristics. This property is known as the data type of the variable. These characteristics specify the type of value a variable can contain and the type of operations that can be applied on it without generating an error. Some of the basic data types in VB are listed in the table given below. Data type. Range of values it can take. Char. Used to store character values. Integer. Used to store integer values, ranging from 32,768 to 32,768. Long. Used to store integer values, ranging from -2,14,74,74,468 to +2,14,74,74,468. Boolean. Used to store either true or false value. Date. Used to store values based on date and time. String. Used to store a set of characters. For example, write down the following code in the load event of the form control. Public class form1, private subform load sender as object, EA7 tags, handles mybase.load, dim marks a string, marks equals input box enter your marks in mathematics, marks, box marks, shunya, your marks in mathematics, in class. Now, press the F5 key to execute the program. Operators. Operators are special symbols that perform specific operations between various objects in a program, and then give an output for the same. They can be either numeric or text. The data items on which the operators perform operations are known as operands. When operators and operands are combined together to perform certain operation, it forms an expression. Let us learn about some of the operators used in Visual Basic. Arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform mathematical operations and they cannot be used with textual data. Some of the arithmetic operators are listed in the table given below. Operator. Function. Expression. Output. Adds two values. 25 plus 2. 27. Subtracts a number from the other. 25 minus 2. 23. Multiplies two numbers. 25 into 2. 50. Divides one number by the other. 25 divides 5. 5. Displays only integer quotient, without decimal places. 25 decimal 2. 12. Mod. Divides two integer numbers and gives remainder. 25 mod 2. 1. Relational operators. Relational operators are used to compare two different operands in a program and they always return a single value, true or false as the output. Some of the relational operators are listed in the table given below. Operator. Function. Expression. Output. One number is greater than the other. One number is less than the other. One number is greater than or equal to the other. One number is less than or equal to the other. One number is equal to the other. The two numbers are not equal. 25-10. 25-10. 25-25. 10-25. 25-10. 25-10. True. False. True. True. False. True. Logical operators. Logical operators are used to combine two or more relational expressions and return true or false as the output. Some of the logical operators are listed in the table given below. Operator. Function. Expression. Output. Or. And. Not. Returns true if either of the conditions is true. Returns true if all the conditions are true. Returns true if the output must be false and vice versa. 25-5 or 25-10 equals true or false. 25-5 and 25-10 equals true and false. Not 25-5 equals not true. True. False. False. String concatenation operators. The string concatenation operators are used to connect a number of operands into one. Visual Basic provides two concatenation operators and plus. The AND operator concatenates the string operands, while the plus operator can concatenate string as well as numeric operands. Control statements in VB. When there is a need to control the execution of a program, the control statements are used. These statements include the following: if, else and select. Case statements are known as selection or conditional statements as they are used to execute under some specific conditions. If the condition is satisfied, a set of statements is executed, otherwise another set of statements is executed. For, next, while, end and do while, loop are called iteration or looping statements as they are used to repeat some commands in a program for a specific number of times or until a condition is satisfied. If, then statement. The if, then statement executes an action only when the condition is true, otherwise the action is skipped. Syntax: if, condition then statements and if, then, else statement. The if, then, else statement executes one set of conditions when the condition is true and other set of conditions when the condition is false. Syntax: if, condition, then statements, else statements and if. Nested if, then, else statement. One if, then, else statement can be placed inside other if, then, else statement to create a nested statement. This process is known as nesting. Syntax: if, condition 1, then statements, else if, condition 2, then statements. Else statements and if. Given below is a program explaining the use of the if, then, else if, else statement. Public class form1, private subform1 load sender as object, EA7 tags, handles mybase.load, dim percentage is integer, percentage equals input box enter your percentage. If percentage equals 90, then box excellent, 0, remark. Else if percentage 80, then box very good, 0, remark. Else if percentage equals 70, then box good, 0, remark. Else if percentage 60, then box average, 0, remark. Else if percentage 59, then box can be better, 0, remark. And if, in sub, in class. The select ... case statement. The select ... case statement can be used in place of the if ... then ... else if statement in order to execute a block of statements selectively. This statement is more convenient than the if ... else if and if. Syntax: select case index, case 0, statements. Case 1, statements, case else, statements, and select. Given below is a program explaining the use of the select case statement. Public class form1, private subform1 load sender as object, EA7 tags, handles mybase.load dim percentage is integer. Percentage equals input box enter your percentage. Select case percentage, case 90 to 100, case 80 to 89. Box very good, 0, remark. Case 70 to 79, box good, 0, remark. Case 60 to 69, box average, 0, remark. Case 0 to 59, box can be better, 0, remark. Case yields, box invalid entry. In select in sub in class. For, next loop. The for ... next loop statement is used to execute a set of statements for a specific number of times, and the number of times the loop has to be executed should be known beforehand. Syntax: for counter, as data type, equals, start, to, end, step, statements, next counter. Given below is a program to calculate the square of a number with the use of the for, next statement, public class form1, private subform onload sender as object, EA7 tags, handles mybase.loadDim counter as integer. Counter equals input box enter a number, square of a number, for I as integer equals 1 to counter text box 1.text equals counter asterisk counter. Next I in subin class. While loop, the while ... end while statement is used to execute a block of statements as long as the given condition evaluates to true. This loop is used when the number of times the loop is to be executed is not known. Syntax: while condition statements end while. Given below is a program explaining the use of the while loop. Public class form1, private subform load sender as object, EA7 tags, handles mybase.loadDim counter, numerous integer, counter equals 0 num equals input box enter a number, square of a number, viulenum 0, dim as integer equals num asterisk num counter equals counter plus 1. Msg box square of the number is and I, 0, n while in subin class. Do, loop while. The do ... loop while statement first executes the statements and then tests the condition after each execution. Syntax: do statements, loop while condition. Given below is a program explaining the use of the do, loop while statement. Public class form1, private subform load sender as object, EA7 tags, handles mybase.loadDim, product as integer. Product equals 1 do, num equals input box enter a number except 0, calculating product. Product equals product asterisk num, loop viulenum 1 msg box the product of entered numbers is and product 0, display result, in subin class. Some additional controls. You have read about some of the controls in Visual Basic including the form, label, text box and button controls. Let us study about two additional controls, namely radio button and checkbox, which you can use to create forms in VB. Radio button control. The radio button control is used to provide a set of options to select from. You can select one of the many radio buttons in a group, and as soon as you do so, other radio buttons get deactivated automatically. A radio button control comprises two parts: a circular checkbox portion which you select and a caption which assigns a title to the radio buttons. Some of the properties, methods and events associated with the radio button control are explained below. Radio button properties. Radio button method. Radio button events. Text, to specify the text to be displayed on the radio button. Appearance, to specify the appearance of the radio button. Check align, to specify the location of the checkbox portion. Checked, to indicate whether the radio button is selected or not. Perform click, to activate a click event for the control. Click occurs when you click on the radio button. Check changed occurs when the value of the checked property changes. Appearance changed occurs when the value of the appearance property changes. Checkbox control. The checkbox control is used to set true/false or yes/no type options. When you select a checkbox, it holds the value true, and when it is deselected, it holds the value false. A checkbox control also comprises two parts, namely, a checkbox part, indicated by a square box, and a caption. Some of the properties, methods and events associated with the checkbox control are listed in the following table. Checkbox properties. Checkbox method. Checkbox events. Text, to specify the text to be displayed on the checkbox. Appearance, to specify whether the checkbox should appear as normal or as a Windows push button. Check align, to specify the location of the check mark in the checkbox. Checked, to indicate whether the checkbox is selected or not. A tick mark inside the checkbox indicates that it is selected. Check state changed. To activate the check state changed event. Check changed occurs when the value of the checked property changes. Appearance changed. This event occurs when the value of the appearance property of the checkbox control changes. Check state changed. This event occurs when the value of the check state property of the checkbox control changes. Given below is a program which shows the use of the radio button and checkbox controls in VB. Step 8. Insert radio button, checkbox and other controls in the form in the order given below. Step 2. Change the text property of all the controls. Step 3. Change the name property of the button control. Step 4. Write the following code in the click event of the button event. Public class form 1. Private sub-button click sender as object, EA7 tags, handles button 1.click, listbox 1.items.clear, if checkbox 1.checked then, listbox.items.add checkbox 1.text, and if checkbox 2.checked then, listbox soon.items.add checkbox 2.text, and if checkbox 3.checked then, listbox 1.items.add checkbox 3.text, and if checkbox 4.checked then, listbox 1.items.add checkbox 4.text, and if radio button 1.checked then, box you selected radio button 1.text, 0, set, else, box you selected and radio button 2.text, 0, set, and if in class. Step 5. Run the program by pressing the F5 key on the keyboard. Another example. Given below is a VB program to accept a number from the user and display its square or cube depending on the user's choice. Step 1. Create the following user interface for your application. Step 2. Change the name property of the button control and text property of label, button and radio, button controls. Step 3. Write the following code in the click event of the button control. Public class form 1. Private sub-button click sender as object, EA7 tags, handles button 1.click, if radio button 1.checked then, dim square yes integer, square equals text box 1.text2, box square of the number is and square, 0, square of the number. Else, dim cube as integer, cube equals text box 1.text3, box cube of the number is and cube, 0, cube of the number, and if, in class. Step 4. Run the program by pressing the 5 key on the keyboard.